ready for the podcast? Whole lot we gon' broadcast. Dropping gems, these are all facts. Shoot flicks like Men in Black. Are you ready for the podcasts? Hitting every spot, Dalmatian. Taking off like a spaceship. Podcast is not basic. Podcast is not basic. Podcast is not basic.
What's up? Yo, this is special, bro. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to the Podcases episode 51. You got the originators of Opinionated-Facts. And we got a special person hanging out with us today, man. Here's the thing, man. Our thing with what we're trying to do with our show is to kind of branch off and do different things and bring the people closer to us, not only our audience, but our guests as well. But Sai and I were just talking about finding interesting people to bring along, people that with a story to tell. And, I reached out to you like over a year and a half ago, and we were trying to get something set up, but we finally got it set up now. Welcome to the Podcases with your boys Fifth and Sai. We got Shawn Crenshaw, CEO of Ovation Men Fragrances.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hey, I got it right, bro.
No, I appreciate you guys inviting me out. I mean, listen, you guys are building some great momentum, and the platform is outstanding. So it's a privilege and an honor to be here, man.
Hey, man.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
This is season 5, and we was off for like what? How long, Si? Since when?
Man, we've been gone for a minute.
Yeah, he went on strike, so HR had to talk to him and get him back in. So we kind of broke up like New Edition, but we back together again. But like I said, man, you got a great story, man, and I'm just like following you from I ghost followed you pretty much, and I reached out to you, man. It's like, hey, man, I'd love to bring you in and just kind of talk to you and let the world know what you're doing. But yo, again, welcome to the Podcases, man.
Thank you.
And let me just add on, man. This is for our show. When we started this, we said we want to do something for the people, right? On a podcast where people
Exactly
feel
what
like
you
they
said.
can reach out to us. They feel like, and we want guests who are for the people. We want guests that we can reach out to. We ain't got to go through your person and that person and that person. We can reach out, and you were very amenable, man, and we appreciate that. And after talking to Shawn and following you and seeing what was going on, man, I said, this is perfect. This is our platform. This is somebody who doesn't have to come, right? He doesn't have to come. He's got the connections. He's got the product. He's got everything he needs. But he's saying, hey, not only am I going to come, I'm going to come a little early. I'm happy to be here. I'm going to talk to you guys. So this is what we stand for, and we just so happy to have you. And, man, that slogan, every man deserves a standing ovation.
Yes,
right.
yes.
Right. I mean, this is perfect, man. I mean, it's what we're about, and we really appreciate you being here, brother. We really do, man.
No, thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. And I mean, like I said, when you guys reached out, I knew it wasn't even a hard ask, man. I knew I was gonna come out and support. You guys are doing great things, and I knew this would be a platform that I could be a part of and help support.
Hey, bro, we sincerely appreciate it, man. I know, Si and I, we were talking earlier, we know bits and pieces of your story, man.
Yeah.
But we let everybody know, just kind of give us a little background where you're from and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as you know, Shawn Crenshaw, founder and CEO of Ovation for Men Fragrance. I started the fragrance brand out of my passion and love for fragrance.
Right.
My dad, I grew up in Detroit. So, my dad, my uncles, everybody was big on fragrance. Fragrance was a part of their swag. It was a couple of things that you had that defined you. It was that car, them clothes, that fragrance, and then
Them gators?
Yep, them gators. And then that who's your better half?
That's what's up, man.
That better half on your arm. And so I knew that in society we praised all of those things and had platforms to celebrate all those things, but we didn't have a platform, I felt, that celebrated fragrance as a part of our swag.
Exactly.
And so that was what started the whole idea. But outside of that, also recognizing, man, that there's a lot of brothers out here doing great things.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Great things. And, we live in a society right now where we're under attack. There's a target on our back. And so I wanted to, through my brand, address how I was feeling as an African-American man in America. Like there was a target on my back, unwarranted.
Right.
I'm doing great things. I know brothers doing great things. And so I wanted to represent that sentiment in my fragrance also. And so that was kind of the idea behind Ovation for Men. And no better title, no better word than Ovation for the brand, because that's what it really was. I mean, we those brothers out here doing some great things. And if you're not doing great things, I'm gonna hope that my brand will inspire you to do great things.
Well, brother, you inspired me before you even started the brand, because I was following you before you started the Ovation brand. You were doing other businesses and all that, and I was inspired by that. I was like, I want to connect with this guy and get to know him and possibly bring him in, even before we started doing the podcast. And so it was an easy decision. When him and I talk about what we want to do or who we want to bring on, it was like an instantaneous, like, let's get them. And then you immediately responded to us, bro. So we sincerely appreciate that, man. You amongst good company, man. All of us kind of think alike in terms of entrepreneurship, work for ourselves or whatever. So kind of take what was the idea just in terms of entrepreneurship? Is it something that it was already in you, or you just got tired of 9 to 5? What was it?
I think entrepreneurship has always been in me. Again, growing up in Detroit, Midwest, we hustlers, folks from the Midwest. We know how to turn nothing into something, right? And so, I lived that. My family lived that, and so moving to Atlanta, man, it was the land of opportunity. Right. Folks was moving to Atlanta and making their dreams come true, and that's one thing that I'll say about Atlanta is whatever field, whatever career, profession, you can come to Atlanta and start at the bottom and actually make it all the way to the top and touch the people that are at the top.
Right. That's true, man.
And that's more so than any other city that I've ever been in. And so coming to Atlanta, it just really inspired me even further to be like, you can do and create and bring to life anything in this city. And then, brothers, black folks run the city, and there's a great ecosystem of support and mentorship and things like that. So, I wanted to just exercise some of my creative, as I say now, creative genius, and put it out there and use this city as a platform for it. And so, it's always been in me, and I've been excited about it.
Bro, let me tell you something, man. I always had this old adage about push me and I'll pull you. And sometimes it's not even a genuine connection that I know you, but your posts and everything that you were doing was kind of like a genuine push for me. I tell Silas all the time, the stuff that he's doing, it pushes me whether he knows or not. So that was the instant connection. Like, bro, I want to connect with this brother, because every time I turn around, success leaves tracks. And you leave a lot of tracks in terms of everything that you do and elevating and all that. I'm like, man, and you don't hear many black guys talking about doing cologne, colognes and fragrances and all that, man.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that. And that's and that's the thing too, is like we don't celebrate each other enough. We don't partner with each other enough. We don't
talk enough.
Yeah, we don't talk enough.
Yeah.
We don't say I love you enough.
Yeah, that's true, man.
Hey, Shawn, I love you.
Yeah, I love you too, bro. Si, I love you, man.
I love
Chris,
you too,
I
man.
love
you too,
I know
brother.
him telling that. He
know,
man, what's wrong with you, man?
That's what I'm saying. We don't say that enough.
That's
We
true,
need
man.
to tell each other we love each other.
Right.
Because that's how we gonna fight all this other stuff that's going on.
Right.
When brothers, when these young boys, young, these young OGs see the older OGs, saying, hey man, I love you.
That's true, bro. You dead on it, man.
And so that's part of the mission too, man, is I want people that come in contact with me to know, hey man, I love you. This is out of love.
Right. So is that kind of like what Ovation is about? Saluting people, applauding people?
Exactly. It encompasses all of that. We're going to salute you.
Right.
We're going to celebrate you. We're going to support you. I tell people, my gift is celebrating your gift.
Hey, bro, I see it. I see you riding them cars, bro. I'm like, bro. The top down every time I see you, man.
And that's just my expression of how much I'm enjoying just being
alive, living life,
living life, being alive. And and I tell some people, I created this little slogan, man. I don't live my life for show. I live my life for show.
I see you post that a few times. I see you post that.
And that's what that is. I ain't trying to flex on nobody. I ain't trying to, but at the end of the day, I want people to know, like, I'm happy.
But you know what, man? A lot of times when people take that as flexing, I take that as motivation.
For sure.
Because the way you do it, it's all about motivation, like helping others. And you always got a little message in it, like, yo, this is what you're doing, how you did it. And you show the work that you've done, and then you show the end point of doing it. I'm like, man, I find that fascinating. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For me, I have ADHD in terms of, that's why I quit the workplace. I'm like, man, but I enjoy working for myself. And people like you that are doing things help me enjoy it more. Like that, I keep going.
Right.
So kind of explain how did Ovation start? What was the process? What was the trigger one night? Like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah. So when the idea came to me, I knew, and I'm gonna tell you this. I tell people this story too. It's like, the voice of God, will speak to you.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, he will speak to you.
That's a damn shame.
And the voice came to me to say, hey, you know, you have a gift that only you can give that people need.
Right.
And it's making people feel good about themselves and inspiring them to be greater than themselves.
Right.
And it was just, I just woke up with this idea of a fragrance, you know, after hearing that voice. And again, I sat and reflected, and I was like, man, what am I gonna call it? And Ovation was the first thing that came to mind. And from that day, I went to Atlantic Station to just check out fragrances, you know. And so I go to the fragrance counter. I can't remember what department store it was, but I go to the fragrance counter, and I asked the fragrance attendant to pull out the new fragrances for the season. You know, they pulled out all the designer fragrances, pulled out all the marketing materials. We flipping through the pages, flipping through the samples. I'm looking at all the branding and the marketing materials, and not one piece of collateral, not one piece had an image that looked like me, that looked like you.
That's true, man.
That looked like you. And that was further confirmation that I knew that voice was telling me something that I needed to do.
Wow.
And I left the store. I said, that's it. I'm gonna figure out how to create a fragrance that represents me, pays homage to my ancestors, pays homage to the people that inspired me when I was a young boy. And so I went online, started researching Black-owned fragrances. And back then, this was 2013, 2014. There was none, zero. There was no one that I could reach out to ask questions that looked like me about fragrance. And so, you know, weeks went by, I'm continuing my research, and there's these various conferences that are going on regarding fragrance. There's a conference out in Vegas.
So you doing research.
Yeah, research.
Yeah, okay.
You know, I'm looking at YouTube videos on how to build a fragrance, you know, and how to.
So you ground floor with this?
Yeah, ground floor.
By yourself?
By myself.
Wow, bro.
And you know, I went through this stage. I went to a couple of conferences to kind of network and start putting my dream out there and just giving my elevator pitch at these conferences. A lot of people was like, yeah, I mean, that's a good idea, but nah, you know, you're too small. We don't deal with that. You know, go call so and so. You know, I go call so and so. You know, I give them my elevator pitch. Nah, you know, you too small. I mean, we don't do that. Go call so and so. So I go call so and so. They give me the same spiel. I'm like, I already called so and so. I ain't got no more so and so's to call. This is it.
Right.
And so I found myself, nobody was really helping me. And it took me, I had to go all the way. I met a young man that was retiring from his position at a major fragrance house. He was starting a consulting firm. And I gave him my elevator pitch, and he was like, you know what, you own something. We recognize that the African-American consumer spends on personal care products 3-to-1, 4-to-1 than most demographic groups.
That's true, man. It really is.
Yeah. And so he's like, you're on to something. And, you know, we don't like to talk about it. People in the fragrance industry don't like to talk about it, but you're that demographic, African-American consumers, the backbone of all personal care. Yeah. And so I knew I was on to something. And he said, you know what, I'm gonna teach you the game a little bit. I'm gonna mentor you. And it was a white guy. And shout out to Bart Schmidt. Bart took me under his wing, and you know, he mentored me and kind of taught me some of the ropes and opened up his Rolodex and introduced me to some folks, kind of pushed my idea along. One thing led to another, We built a prototype product, found a bottler, found a packaging company. You know, now I will say this, you know, it wasn't cheap. Like I said, I'm still 8-9 years into this, and we really getting to the point where we can launch this thing on a larger scale.
Yeah, bro.
But it's an expensive endeavor for sure.
Right.
You know, the bottling, the packaging, the fragrance development, all that stuff, it's not cheap, you know. And so I don't make myself out to be an artisan, you know, of fragrance development. So, you know, I work with a perfumer, and I tell them my dream, my idea, what I'm trying to do with the fragrance, and they translate that into the various notes in packaging and things like that. So it's been a journey. It's been but it's been one that we haven't given up on, you know, and we pushing forward with.
So do you get? Well, I know you did at some point, but what were some of the more overwhelming instances in your development outside of just getting spun around? Call this person, call that person, call this person. Like, I mean, were you know, when it got down to the bottler, did they give you a number and you like, damn, like, shit, like what? You want me to spend this and I ain't sold nothing? Like, you know?
Yeah, no. I mean, and that was almost at every step of the process, man, because, I mean, I had to maintain my corporate America job while I was doing all of this.
Right.
you know, and I didn't have, you know, any big venture capital funding. I did have some angel investors that invested into the product. I'm quite thankful for those that initial investment.
I wish I would have jumped in the ground floor when you was putting it out there, bro. I really did, bro. I'm like, man, I saw it, bro.
Yeah. I mean, and that was the belief that you know, my angel investors had in me, and so I've been quite fortunate enough to really keep it going. But with my corporate job and saving my money, I mean, it was like a flip game. You know, I was when I did have product, I would sell what I had and I would flip it.
Right.
I would start off with 100 bottles, then we'd flip it to 500 bottles, and go from 500 bottles to 1,000 bottles, and now, you know, we're at a point now where we're 5,000 to 10,000 bottles now, and you know, we just keep, and I'm still in that phase of we flipping it. We're going to keep growing it.
You know what, man? It's funny you said that. You said about black men. Black people in general are very groom-oriented in terms of clothes, cars, fragrances and all that. This guy here got more fragrances than I know anybody. So this is his forte.
Yeah.
I'm not really a big fragrance guy. I do
he steals mine from time to time.
I do. I come in his house and crib.
Some might be missing.
How would you market to somebody who's like, quote unquote, he's a connoisseur, for lack of a better term. He got all kind of, like the stuff I have. He's like, man, I don't even wear that shit. How do you market to somebody who's elevating in terms of cologne and all that to try your product?
You know, and that's a good question. You know, the true fragrance connoisseurs have a fragrance wardrobe.
Yeah.
You know, they have a whole
He have a whole cabinet full.
Right.
It's really talking.
Right.
He do.
So the great thing about fragrances is because it is so diverse in people's taste, people's mood. You know, there's a space for every type of fragrance because it attaches to a mood or a moment or a vibe or however you want to describe it. So for me, what I offer is a fragrance that is the DNA of the fragrance is about representing you and being your signature, your signature fragrance.
Right.
You don't have to go out and search for it. It's here for you, you know, and add it to your wardrobe, add it to your collection. You know, it's cool. I don't knock any of the designer fragrances. I don't knock Tom Ford. I don't knock Ralph Lauren. I don't knock, you know, whoever. But at the same time, there's room for Shawn Crenshaw Ovation for men.
Right.
And it's different. You know,
and so you know what I'm thinking, Shawn, is I'm literally sitting here thinking, I'm like, most of the stuff I wear, how did I get on it, right? Because 9 times out of 10, if you go to if you really know fragrances, right, and you go to a store, we leave out of here and we go to Neiman or something, and we smell a few, you're gonna smell it. They all smell good, right? But what you're looking for. You know, I'm putting this on at 1 p.m. At 7:30, is somebody gonna still walk by and be like, "Dang, you smell good."
That's that niche.
That's what you're looking for. But I'm sitting here and I'm almost feeling ignorant because I'm like, how did I get on these fragrances? And most of the fragrances that I got on, right? Embarrassed to say, I've normally got out of a song, right? Before I heard somebody rap about Bond Number 9, I didn't know what it was. Then I'm like, what the hell is Future talking about? Bond Number 9? Let me go smell that, right? Before you get on Creed, right? You get on Creed because you see somebody say, man, that damn Creed, nah, that's the joint, right? And you say, well, let me go smell it. Well, nah, Adventures don't really smell good when you first smell it. Right. A little woody, to be honest. But when you put that joint on and 8 hours later, somebody's still like, good gracious. You like, that's what it's about. That's why when we tried the Ovation, and he sprayed it, I'm like, that smell once it dries up, it intertwines with your skin. You see what I'm saying? So, but what I'm saying is, a lot of times, like you're saying, how, you know, black men are, you know, we are heavy in the grooming, right? But a lot of these things, we are not discovering ourselves. We're either learning from some kind of song,
that's a great
movie,
point, bro.
some type of entertainment, or we are going to a counter and we're allowing somebody who's at the counter who has been, you know, taught to sell us something, right? Probably for their benefit, not for our benefit, right? And probably not the best thing. Like, think about how quick people got on that Dior Savage or Sauvage, whatever they call it, right? People got on that so quick because it jumped on social media and it jumped like crazy. Everybody like, oh, if he wear this, he got, you know, if he wear this. And so I went to the store. Let me smell it. Well, I don't know if it's really me, but I guess I need a bottle.
So,
right?
And that's a crazy thing because how many, like, you got your final product here. How many instances or product testing that you had to go through before you find like this is the one?
Oh yeah.
Or did you go to somebody and say, yo, check this out, or you just went by your own palette and say this is it?
Yeah. So let me touch on a couple of things. Well, first, Chris, everything that you just said is the power of the African American influence.
Right.
And I know that. We know that.
Yes.
And what's crazy about it, Wall Street knows it too.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And they really want to suppress it to the best of their ability.
But you can't, yeah.
Exactly, but you can't. Just so here's what I know. I know to enter this space, to jump off Ovation, that's part of the brand building is looking at where, you know, and this is what I always say, wherever the culture is being created, wherever the culture is being witnessed,
That's it, bro.
and wherever the culture is being celebrated, Ovation for Men is going to be there. But what's beautiful about it is, guess who's at the center of creating all these cultural trends?
We are.
We are.
Yeah, bro.
We are. We are. So
And they ain't getting nothing for it.
nothing. So the critical ask is, well, how do you center yourself in the middle of the culture?
Right.
And yeah, you know, I got to give my elevator pitches to the influencers of the culture to kind of, you know, rock with Ovation, you know, but slowly but surely we're building that momentum where it's happening, you know, if it's the athletes, and I'm sure we'll talk about this on how I'm getting involved in that space, but we know it's the athletes, we know it's our entertainers, we know it's our businessmen, we know it's our politicians, we know that we drive the culture. So what you just said right there is a fact.
Yeah.
It's a fact. The influence that we have, not only on our culture, but just the global culture, period.
Do you find it hard to introduce your product to other African Americans, whatever? Like, are they like apropos? Like, I don't know, bro.
I mean, you know what?
Like giving out your mixtape at the gas station. Almost, You know what I'm saying?
I mean, there are folks that are skeptical. You know, there are folks that, well, let me get a sample first.
Right.
You know, let me smell it. What is it made of? What's this? What's this? And that's cool. I recognize that's just with anything,
Right.
you know, and I get it. But I know if I run across that particular potential customer, I mean, I will definitely answer the question and entertain them, but it does initially, it says, you know, you're not my initial audience right now, you know, because see, someone like Chris is, I'm following you home, man. I'm gonna make sure you have a bottle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Dude, he's crazy with it.
yeah, you know,
He's talking about the woody smell. I'm like, bro, I don't know nothing about that.
And you know, you say that, and you like the first person that I knew that wore cologne,
But you-
in
you know what's
undergrad.
But every time you get something good, he's like, yo, you gotta try this, guys. And I don't know anything about this stuff. Like he said, I don't know anything about it.
you know, and here's a good thing too. What the other part of the brand, what we recognize is, and this is a part of our mission, is we want to educate the casual fragrance consumer or someone on the sideline of fragrance consumption. We want to actually be the gateway for them to understand fragrance.
That's interesting, man.
Yeah, so that's another piece of the puzzle. Like, you know, even if you don't wear fragrance, we would love Ovation to be your first fragrance that you experience.
So who do you think
is
is more difficult to bring aboard? A casual person like me or somebody who's more like seasoned? Because I'd be like, I don't know.
No, the casual for sure. The casual consumer of fragrance.
You hooked me when I smelled it.
Yeah, it is definitely, because this is what I sell to the folks, the seasoned fragrance executives. I say, like, quit hating on my brand and quit hating on what I'm doing, because guess what? I'm bringing people that otherwise wouldn't buy a fragrance into the space.
Right.
So why you hating on me? Why you trying to shut the door on me? Because a rising tide raises all ships.
That's true, bro.
And you know, in a lot of the fragrance brands, they just want to go after one consumer, the person that wants to spend $200, $300 a bottle. And Ovation is not priced there. You know, we're priced at, we've gone from 65, 75, 85 when we relaunched.
I got a 60-something bottle.
Yes,
sir. I got it written back way.
Hey, but we recognize that even as the price point is incrementally going up, we're still attracting that casual sideline consumer that otherwise wouldn't consider purchasing a fragrance, but now they are because of Ovation.
Right.
And so I'm always shocked when people try to mute and suppress our message of why we're important in the market.
Right.
That's interesting, man.
You know,
like how you mentioned about the African American buying power, just our status in the world, from everything from hip hop to social media, whatever.
Yeah,
we're at the forefront. And to me, one of the things I've always been fascinated about is we will raise you up, but we'll jump off really quick. You know.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Are you worried about that at all? Like, are you able to ride the wave You know, because once we jump off, we're off.
You know, I'll say this. I think we do hold our fellow African-American entrepreneurs to a high standard.
Yes.
As we should, to be honest with you, as we should. And I think the challenge is, as an entrepreneur, you have to be prepared for that. You have to anticipate that. You have to do the due diligence to make sure that your product is tight, airtight.
Right.
Because we won't allow us to slack.
No, we won't, bro.
You know, I mean, and it's, you know, and it's fair, and that's a fair ask, I think. It does put some additional pressure on us, you know, to make sure we don't make any mistakes.
Right.
We don't get a lot of grace,
Right.
you know.
No.
And I try to remind my customers, you know, that this is a bootstrap effort for me. Like, I'm currently out of stock right now. I'm currently out of stock, you know. But why am I out of stock? Because we are revamping everything about the brand. We're introducing our second product line. We're going to have a new website. We're going to have a new bottle. We're going to have new packaging. And I get a DM every week. Man, all this money you lost, Crenshaw, man, I'm looking to buy, bruh. I mean, another black-owned business can't meet demand. And I have to politely respond, say, hey, brother, I appreciate your passion for my brand. But what I'll ask is just, if you understand that we're relaunching, and just ask for a little grace, just some patience and a little grace, and we're going to come back stronger, faster, bigger than before. And I appreciate your ongoing support. And most people respond back, oh, man, okay, I see where you at with it, okay? Because, again, a lot of people don't know the story. They assume just because you in business, you got a big venture capital, you got money in the bank. This is bootstrap.
They see those cars with those tops on it, man. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm saying to myself, so and it's just a signal to me that I need to do more about telling my story, which is a part of, you know, why I'm here, is to let people know, like, this is a bootstrap effort. This ain't big investors. I'm learning it each day by myself, you know, about how to develop and brand a fragrance.
Yeah, you always talking about evolving with your business and all that. Who is your circle that you go to? Like, hey, man, what you think about this? Or what? Do you have a circle, or you got somebody you rely on, or a group of people you rely on?
Absolutely.
Like,
and I would be remiss without talking about my business partner. So let me do that for a second. So when I launched the brand, I realized I couldn't do this by myself. You know, I knew that I needed some people to help me. So big shout out to Cecil Cross here in Atlanta. What up, C? Cross the boss. Cecil, as you know, he's went to Clark Atlanta University. He's an author. He's a cultural curator. You know, he's done parties and events in the city. The man has style. He has swag. He has a great circle of friends, great credibility in the streets, and I wanted him to be a part of the brand. Shout out to Mike, DJ Fidelf Jackson. He is currently on HGTV. He and his wife, they have a show, Married to Real Estate.
I saw your post on that. Yeah. Salute to them. Yeah.
So that's my business partner. Again,
they found a house yet?
Oh man, they did, bro. A house, woo, yes sir.
Okay.
But Fidelf is, again, a man of accomplishment. He's an author. He has a construction company. He's a father, a husband, DJ. I mean,
because you say DJ friendly, man.
He does everything. He does everything. So again, he epitomized what the brand stood for, and so I asked him to be a part. And so I'm always grateful to have Cecil and Fidelf, Mike Jackson, on the team, because they help me brainstorm. They bring ideas to the table. They represent kind of that target audience,
right?
And so the brand wouldn't be where it is right now without them. I recommend that for all entrepreneurs.
Right.
Like, get you a trusted team that believes in you and you believe in them.
I was going to ask you about your creative process, because I think everybody has a different way they create what they want to do. Right? For me, I hold on to it for at least a year to make sure I'm totally invested in what my vision is. For you, what's your process when you came up with it? How far from the time you thought of it conceptually to you telling the first person? How much time passed between that?
You know, that's a good point too. You know, I started talking about it immediately, to be honest.
What's up?
And I tell people this. I said, I'm currently out of stock right now, but I haven't stopped branding. I haven't stopped marketing. And I tell people this, you know, don't be so afraid to tell people about your dream, your aspiration. Or just wear it.
Right.
And now
like him too.
Exactly.
Right.
Now I've gotten into debates with people. Well, you know, I don't quite have it right, and I'm not ready. You know, somebody might steal my idea, or it's not quite ready. And I understand that.
Right.
But we're in a very competitive market. and you're foreclosing the opportunity of the universe working on your behalf.
Oh, that's true, bro.
Got to jump. You got to
true,
jump.
man.
You have to jump, and so there's been many times where I've been out of product, and according to conventional wisdom, I should have shut my website down. I should have just stopped talking about it. I've been talking about the product for 8 years now, and I've been out of stock many times throughout that journey, but here's what I recognize: because I've continued to talk about it, because I've continued to share my dream, my passion for it, it has spread out into the world, and people have offered things to help push it along. Or when there were moments where I thought I didn't have a way out,
right? Because
I was still continuing to talk about it, that door just opened up,
right?
And there was a way for me to push through it and continue the journey. And so I tell people all the time, like, there's never a time where you should not be talking about
your product.
That's what's up.
And that's
bro.
real. And again, there are people who will debate me on that, but I'm currently out of stock right now. And people like, well, when you gonna be back in stock, man? I'm like, bruh, keep listening to this message.
Right.
What's your cure for negativity when that comes out? Because as an entrepreneur, there's a lot of good, but there's a lot of like whispering, negativity, hate. We're like, man, this is
Right. I try not to address it really in the moment. I do make note of it, like, this person hating.
Right, you can tell.
They hating.
Yeah, you can tell.
But I use it, say, okay, I got you. I'm gonna show you. Right. See, I can show you better than I can tell you.
Right.
And see, I know what's going on in the background. I know I have a new website that's coming. Mm-hmm. I know I have a new product. I know I have new packaging. I know I have a new content partner. I know I have a new distribution partner. As an example, like the next wave of our existence, I won't be selling it out of the back of my trunk.
Right.
Amazon is going to be our back end infrastructure partner. So the brand was accepted into Amazon's Black Business Accelerator program.
Hey, man.
And there's a lot of perks that come along with that.
That's big.
So we'll be able to have Amazon as our back end distribution partner. Every order will be shipped by them. Our product will be housed at an Amazon facility. We'll be able to promote and advertise the product on all Amazon platforms. That's Amazon Prime,
that's big,
Amazon
bro.
Music, Amazon.com. When the NFL season rolls around, there's an opportunity to promote on their Thursday night broadcast, Amazon Thursday Night Football. That's big. That's a big, now we can scale the business without me having to run back and forth to the post office every day.
Hey, bro.
But people don't know that. And people say, well, man, Shawn, I ordered it a week ago. Why we ain't got it yet? When I order from Amazon or I order, black businesses got to do better.
Yeah.
I used to get that a lot too,
man.
Yeah,
come on, y'all. Come on. Black businesses are doing better.
Yeah, man. And you're doing other things besides just cologne, man. Let's talk about, what your next moves are, or what you're currently doing.
Okay,
with NIL.
Yes, sir. So NIL, let me tell y'all something about NIL. Y'all better pay attention.
Because you schooling me on this.
Y'all better pay attention. Name, image, and likeness in college and high school athletics is the future. It's here, and it's only going to get bigger. And what does that mean for us as Black-owned brands? What it means is now we have an opportunity that is now legal and recognized to approach college athletes and some high school athletes where NIL is legal in those states to cut deals for them to endorse and promote your product and tap into their fan base. And, and so that's never been, we've never had that opportunity before. And so with the launch of Ovation for Men's Sport, which we'll be launching here in another month and a half or so, we've purposefully decided to go into the NIL space. And affiliate with athletes, both at the college level and high school level, to promote the product. And I'm telling you, it's the future, because there's going to be a lot of deal flow in the NIL space, both from the large brands, the college athletic departments and boosters, all the way down to the smaller brands like myself, nonprofit, men's athletics, women's athletics, across all athletic disciplines. There's going to be deal flow. Right. And if you have a brand, recognize that you can insert yourself in that deal flow and gain access to a new audience, gain access to new content development, and gain access to a new customer base, and grow your product through name, image, and likeness. And what's unique about our approach to it is that we are custom curating the name, image, and likeness of our clients. Right. What I like to say is, we are the image in name, image, and likeness. When we go in, to give you a little background, what I've done is decided to identify athletes that we feel are that epitomize the brand.
That's what's up.
Men of character, men of integrity, men of positive image, positive messaging, good energy, high performers, and show potential to get to the next level.
Right.
But their brand isn't quite fully developed and show potential of a great brand. And what does that look like? Brother, it looks like this. You look good, you want to smell good, you got swag, you got a smile.
Finish it up.
You care about how your hair is cut, you care about how your clothes fit, you care about how your physique look. Okay, if I see you on the gram and you flexing those things, I might be calling you.
I got all that. I'm just working on. I'm working on my physique though.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
You got to deal with that. And that's big, man, because all you hear about these big companies out here with these NIL deals, with these athletes and all that. How did you find your space in that? What was your niche point where you were able to go out and reach out to Joe Blow athletes and say, hey, listen, I want to have a conversation with you, whatever. How did that come about?
Yeah, and we're all casual sports observers. We casual fans. We got our favorite teams, our favorite sports, and it started there first. It's just like, man, I watch sports and I see cats how they present on the court. But what was really obvious to me was I didn't really understand how you present off the court. We talked about this a little bit. Football players, if they don't have their helmet, their school colors, and their number on, you would know
who they are.
Hell no, not at all.
Know. And here these men are every Saturday, similar to how my brand wants to give an ovation. Every Saturday, a lot of these football players are in front of 100,000 people doing exactly that, getting a standing ovation.
At 19, 20 years old.
Yeah, exactly, at 19 and 20 years old.
That's crazy, man.
So the proposition for me was here it is, the NIL is now here. Every Saturday, hundreds of thousands, 100,000 people are applauding you, but then the applaud goes to mute once the game is over, the final horn. I'm like, there's an opportunity to continue that applause, continue that ovation. And where does that manifest itself? In name, image, and likeness. And the key is how do we take what you just did on the field and keep that excitement, that engagement going after the game?
Yeah, and you say you deal with high school kids. Just walk me through something that your initial approach to their parents, right? What's something that how does that conversation come about?
Yeah. Well, as you know too, and I'll speak on that a little bit. I currently have Trey Green, who's the number 2 ranked football player in the state of Louisiana.
Wow, he's doing work, bro. He's doing work.
He's highly recruited. That young man is going to do big things. Mr. Dylan Tatum, who's a defensive back at Michigan State University, he's on the roster doing big things. We have Trendon Hankerson. He's a basketball player at Akron University. He's finished up his time of eligibility, but comes from a great background, great parents, looking to continue his career, possibly overseas. So, we have a roster that's growing, and we have some prospects that we're going after. And what I'd say to the parents and I say to the players is, hey, first, I see you. You're doing great things.
Right.
That's the first thing. You're doing great things. And the great things that you're doing, you have an opportunity to expand it and monetize it and capitalize on it.
That's crazy, man.
And you have an opportunity to establish your personal brand that's authentic, that represents you, not what someone else wants to place on you.
Right.
Not some stereotype that someone wants to place on you. So I go to the mother and I say, Mom, you've done a great job raising that young man. That young man represents everything that's positive.
It's almost like recruiting.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. And this is genuine. I'm not just making up. I mean, these are genuine statements about genuine young men. And I say to them, I say, I want to partner with your son to continue that. I want to partner with your son, you and the family, to curate what that brand should look like for him at the next level before it's tainted, before it's soiled by what someone thinks it should be.
Right.
We have an opportunity to curate that now through my brand, Ovation for Men. Here's what my brand stands for. My brand celebrates the style, creativity, showmanship, and excellence of African-American men.
Right.
So I want to take that concept with our brand slogan, every man deserves an ovation, and I want to wrap that around your son. I want to make sure that your son, when he steps out of the door, that he has a shield of of celebration, a
Right,
shield
around him.
of positive energy around him. That not only can he wear it, but not only can he see it, he can smell it. And so that's the vision. And I take him through the program. When he signs with me, we're gonna get him a custom suit. We're gonna get him a custom suit, one of the best tailors. And
I need a custom suit.
hey, well, listen.
I got one suit.
Bruh, we can get you one. I got plenty of tailors.
I saw you have my man up. I'm like, bro, I need a suit. I never been on the platform to get a suit.
Hey, that's the easy one.
Bro, I have to say this, man. I've seen the work you've done with those players when you post them. It's amazing because for me, like I said, I've been following you for a while, and you always elevating, doing something different, and the way you branded those athletes. I saw you had with the suits and all that. It's crazy to me, but how do you find your niche in the world where they're like big time companies and all that? We talked about was it Rock Nation and all that. How do you stay consistent? Like, yo, I don't want to go no other way, but this is my path right here. How do you stay consistent and not get overwhelmed by it?
Yeah, the way I look at it is when I reflect on our slogan, "Every man deserves an ovation." Culturally and iconically, I think every man deserves an ovation is just as big as just do it.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
It is.
Every man deserves
That's
an
true,
ovation is just as iconic as just do it.
Because no one has applauded me in a long time.
There you go.
Me either.
There you go.
Thank you.
And there's a whole lot of us out here in America that feels the same way. And so for me, that's what keeps me centered is
Right.
the big brands, the just do it's of the world. That's fine. They're going to do what they do. But here's what the kicker is. They do it through exploitation.
Right.
In my opinion,
Yes.
we do it through authentic development, love, care, growth, community. That's how we do it. And so that's the vision that I have. Like, right now, again, we're a small player, but I'll tell these just do it's of the world, the guy that overtook you was always looking small in the distance.
Yeah, man.
So just to go back, man, just because this is a thing that I'm pretty passionate about, and we'll just touch on football, right? And I was looking it up. So you have, let's see here. There are about 1.2 million high school football players in the United States, right? About 71,000 will go on to play college, right? Whether Division I, II, or III. And out of that 71,000, how many people are in the NFL draft?
300.
250 something,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
250 something. 250 something get drafted out of 71,000. So let's say, I don't know what that number is, but a very small percentage, under 10%, are going pro, right? 4 or 5%, right? So now, what this NIL space has done, which the NCAA hates, right? Still doesn't like, it's allowed somebody like you, right? And we got to applaud you for even having the vision to be able to get your stuff in there, because 2 years ago, you wouldn't have been able to go give a kid a bottle of Ovation and say, hey, here you go. You that would have been a violation, right? And the school would have kicked you off campus, and you'd have had a hearing with the NCAA and never been
ruin that young man's eligibility.
ruin his eligibility, all of that stuff. So in doing what you're doing, there's more than one thing, right? One, there's an opportunity if the kid wants to learn about business and what to do next, because you may not be going pro if you're not one of that 3%, right, that's gonna make it. But you'll say, hey, now I have an NIL deal, right, where I'm learning other stuff. I'm learning this, and maybe I can get with one of my buddies who is going pro to say, hey, man, you need to try this Ovation, right? I was here, I was out. So shout outs to you for saying, hey, I know I'm a small fish in this thing, but I'm in this thing. Right?
Absolutely.
I'm in
I
here.
appreciate that. Yes.
Yeah, and that's really a vision, man, because people would not have thought of that. Like, man, most people would have been like, nah, man, but why are you going to try to do an NIL deal? They don't want to do that.
Yeah, it's evolving. So how does somebody know they got a good deal? Like I said, if you came to me for my son or whatever and say, hey, listen, how do I know what I'm getting is legitimate, is fair, or whatever? How does that work?
Yeah.
Or is that disclosed at all?
Well, because NIL is in the development stages, as folks in the industry will say, it's the Wild Wild West out here. deal structures vary from deal to deal. That's the reality of it.
Yeah,
you know, some deals are big, some deals are small. The value of a deal is not always based on money. The value of a deal is sometimes based on exposure. The value of the deal is sometimes based on, future earnings.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Future
connections.
So I didn't know that. I thought it was all based on monetary.
That's the big problem that people think. It's not though.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
It's not all monetary. There's merchandise that's tied into it. There's, for what we're doing, again, to go a little deeper into our NIL deals, there's a couple of things. We're curating content. So me getting them a custom suit is not just for me getting them a custom suit. What we're going to do is once the custom suit comes back, we're going to do a photo shoot. We're going to generate content that is then going to show that athlete in a different light besides with his helmet and his jersey on. We're going to show him in his maturation. We're going to show him in his kingship. We're going to show him in his manhood or his maturing manhood. We're going to show him, in a suit, instead of baggy jeans and sneakers. Now we might do a photo shoot of some drip, some casual drip too, showing that side. But overall, we want to create content that he will have, and we will be able to use to show how he represents Ovation for Men with this particular aesthetic, this custom suit aesthetic. So that so that's a part of it. In addition, we're going to introduce him to business, because what's going to happen is when we launch the product,
there it is.
He's going to be a partner in the launch of that campaign. So we're going to offer our clients a back-end royalty on the sale of the bottle of the campaign that he's a part of. He's going to get a promo code. Every bottle sold that comes through from that promo code, guess what? Now you're a businessman. You're a partner. You're getting back-end revenue from the sale of the bottle.
Not to even mention that all of this, we're living in a different time. We're living in a time of followers, right? We're living in a time of, if you can get 1 million followers, right, and you're a nice-looking kid, and you play at UGA, and you might not have got on the field in 3 years, but maybe somebody wants to sign you to model. Right. Maybe somebody wants to say, hey, this kid, look at this kid. This kid got 1 million followers. The kid is gorgeous. This kid is a football player. He's a college student. Hey, you doing Ovation? How about you want to wear a shirt for me? You want to do one of my shirts? So this can actually, it can, like we used to say, it's a different way of going pro. This can take you a different way of going pro. But the thing about it is, for Shawn, if they go pro another way, you take an Ovation with you, because I know he's got them on paper saying, now you got an NOL with Ovation. You with Ovation for 3 years, right? Wow. I don't care what you do. So now when Perry Ellis comes, Perry Ellis got to call Ovation and say, hey, we want to sign him too.
Oh, that's how
how it works.
For sure. And again, thank you for mentioning that, because part of what I say too is listen, sometimes it ain't NFL, it's NIL.
Right.
If you don't make it to the NFL, you have an opportunity to further leverage your NIL.
Yes.
And so that's, to your point, say if you don't go pro, but if you do partner with Ovation for Men during your 3-4 year career in college, you've got 3-4 photo shoots, multiple videos, multiple aesthetics that show you as a pitch man, as an ambassador. You leverage that to that next deal. And you can, and because now that you have a deal with Ovation for Men, that deal translates into leverage for your next deal. And as we know in finance, leverage is everything.
Right.
So I say to that parent, I say to that young athlete, if nothing else, let's give strong consideration to what I'm offering, because you now are stepping into the space of business and leverage. And if you believe in yourself the way I believe in you, then everything we're talking about will come to pass. You will do a great NIL deal with Ovation for Men. You will perform at a high level on the field. And as Deion Sanders say, when you look good, you play good. When you play good, they pay good. Right. You see what I'm saying? So this is the start of that process.
And and that's the crazy thing about, I'm an apprehensive guy. Like when the internet came about, people was calling it the internet. You know what I'm saying? People were apprehensive about doing it. How, when you start this whole deal, when it's like the Wild Wild West, quote unquote, because it's new, how do you evaluate your clients and let them know, like, hey, listen, this is on the up and up. There's no shenanigans. We're here to promote you and do the right thing or whatever. Because just like this in college recruiting, all there's always some snakes and everything. And how do you like? Hey man, this is on the up and up.
You really don't lose with him though. You don't, because he's not asking for money, right? You don't. You really. He's not offering you.
And that's the
money,
crazy because
so
this
you don't
is new.
lose.
Right. He's educating a lot of people with this.
I'm asking you. I'm saying, hey, I want to give you an NIL deal to promote my brand.
Yeah.
Right. And in terms of, in return, I'm going to give you blah blah blah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, I get it.
So,
Yeah.
you can't. It would be a no brainer to sign his deal.
Right.
I want you to wear Ovation cologne. Right. And I'm gonna get you a photo shoot. I'm gonna get you some content. I'm gonna get you this. I'm gonna get you that. Now, if one of those guys were to blow up and get into an NFL locker room, and somebody else say, "Hey, man, you wearing that? What's that cologne you wearing?" That's the Ovation. This is my guy.
You guys are educating me on this.
And it's funny you say this because that is it's a relationship thing.
Yes.
You know, and we don't have it all figured out yet because it hasn't all transpired.
Right.
But the idea is, if I start an early relationship with you in building your personal brand, and I do well by you, and I do well by your parents, and you are satisfied with the content, and you're satisfied with the product, the natural progression is, well, hey, when you do get to the NFL, naturally, you want to continue that relationship. And I want to be able to offer something to you, too, as a
relationship.
It makes so much sense. Like, why wasn't this around 10? You know what I'm saying? It makes so much sense.
Well, NCAA always blocked it because that NCAA and student loans are the two biggest crooks in America. NCAA is a nonprofit, man.
Yeah.
And they selling out. There's 100,000 people at the UGA game, and it's a nonprofit. It's a nonprofit. But think about it.
Yeah, you're right.
So you say access, right, and connections are the new money.
Right.
It's not money, right? Because you can have a lot of money and you can't get to me at 9:30 at night.
Right.
Right. You still got to wait till Monday morning. Right. But if you got Shawn's number, you say, Shawn, I'm in trouble. Let me call Chris right quick. I don't care what time it is.
So
that's the new money.
And let me say one other thing too. You're absolutely right. The way I try to explain it to people too is, you're right. Here's what you can convert into money. You can convert content, and you can convert your followers.
Yes.
And your fan base into money. So everything does not have to be about money. So for my NIL deals, I address one of those things: content.
Right.
What you bring to the table, young athlete, that's in front of 100,000 people every Saturday, is fan base. So we bring content and fan base together. Guess what it translates to? Money.
Yeah.
And then from the money side, it's money via Ovation with your promo code. And then there's money when the collective, your university booster club, your university collective, is starting to offer you NIL deals. You have leverage to say to that collective, say to those boosters, I like that deal, but you can do better. I like that opportunity, but you can do better.
And you know what? And larger schools like UGA, Duke basketball, Carolina basketball, they now have a person who is their NIL person.
That's what I was about to ask him.
You can't even go to the player.
That's crazy.
You got to go through the person. But if you do what Shawn is talking about, you get them before, right? You get them before there, or it's not illegal for you to go to them. They just tell the player, we don't want you dealing with all this stuff. Just go through her. Anybody.
So they're like he's their affiliate.
It's like their agent. Because what this NIL deal has done is basically allow agents to start identifying players as low as like 11th grade.
Yep.
Like, hey, I'm Drew Rosenhaus. You're in 11th grade. I have all of these players, so I'm not even gonna call you. I'm gonna get some pro to call you. I'm gonna get Joe Burrow to call you and say, hey man, Drew is my agent. Let's go to dinner one day. Right? What in 11th grade, I'm going to dinner with Joe Burrow?
That's crazy.
You're gonna do whatever I say do, right? So I want you to sign with Drew. Now, the thing about these players is is getting them on paper. Right. You get them on paper, then they got to come to you to buy them out.
Right.
So, if I got you on paper for Ovation, there's no money exchange, but you still got to come to me because he still got to wear Ovation 3 years. So
well, let me ask you a question. What's the typical deal length for NIL?
It can vary. A lot of folks at my level, I'll say at my level, as an independent brand, I mean, we're doing it year to year. Because I'm still in the show me mode. Like, let me prove it to you. Let me show you. But ultimately, say these college athletes, they're pretty much 3 years and out. If you're a top football player, you're 3 years and out. If you're a basketball player, you could potentially do one and done. The kid at Alabama, Brandon Miller,
right?
He's going to be a one and done.
Yeah.
So even if he steps on campus and University of Alabama arranges an NIL deal for him, the best they're going to get is a 1 year NIL deal.
Right.
Which is fine, so they vary. But ultimately, you know, you want to have it as long as you possibly can.
Right.
You know, for us, here's what we recognize. And people ask me this too, like, Shawn, why not go after pro players? You know, you should do more with professional athletes. And I'll be honest, you know, professional players have professional agents that require professional level money.
If you can talk to them,
If
right?
you can talk to them,
Right,
you know. And so I'll be the first to raise my hand. You know, we're not at that level where we can sit down and have those type of discussions that are legitimate at the level that professional players and professional agents are used to seeing. But I'll also offer this. For us building a brand, we recognize that the fact that you are a professional athlete, by definition, you are at the end of your career. So by definition, you are at the end of your career. And if my business model is about content and fan base, by definition, as a professional player, you are actually on the downside of content and fan base. Because once you retire, once you out of the league, you're gone. Ain't nobody checking for you.
Right.
Unless you are fortunate enough to get a network job, a commentator job, you know, you happen. But 9 out of 10 for those people, they've created a brand already. So that's how they've been able to leverage getting on the network as a commentator. So I have kind of backed off of going after professional players because, one, we're just not there. And based on our business model, you're at the end of what we need. We're at the end of content generation and at the end of a maintained fan base. So for us, high school and college is a more strategic decision for us because, by definition, those young athletes are at the beginning of what we need. Yeah. I need content and fan base development. You're at the beginning of that stages. We want to be a part of that at the beginning. So, you know, we want to balance it. I will say, if I had to write my dream script, it would be to have a nice balance of professional athletes all the way down to high school athletes. Right. You know, and we can balance it because, again, our value proposition is content, fan development, product, business, you know, entrepreneurship, introductory, and potential revenue for you as our brand grows.
Well, let me ask you, speaking of growth, man, what's next? What's your year, 36 months? What's next?
Yeah, so we'll be launching Ovation for Men Sport. You know, I think I shared it with you guys.
Yeah, we got that on.
But this is right off of my perfumers, right off the presses. So I have the sample here. It's just a sample, but I shared it with you all.
It's fantastic, bro. Even if you wasn't here, the first time he smelled, like I said, he's a connoisseur.
Right.
He was like, bro, you know.
Yeah, let me grab my.
Yeah, it's great. It's great, man. You onto something.
Yeah. And then, you know, Ovation for Men will be for Father's Day, we're gonna have a new campaign.
Okay.
We're gonna be launching. Again, I'm out of stock of Ovation for Men right now, but we'll be restocked with Ovation for Men. We'll be restocked with Ovation for Men.
Can we get our own product code? We put it on the Podcases.
Man,
we'll send them over there.
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna come back.
We'll send them over there.
I'm gonna come back with it. But we're gonna have a new website. We're gonna have new bottle, new packaging. We're gonna have new content. So you'll see new photos, new videos. We have a new distribution partner. As I mentioned earlier, Amazon will be our distribution partner. So I won't be selling out of the back of my trunk anymore. Not that I was literally selling out of the back of my trunk, but, you know, I was in charge of fulfillment.
You know, a lot of them cars you drive trunks in the front.
Yeah. There's never a top on his car. He never have a top on his car.
Hey, listen, the product is in the back seat, though. I'm going to tell you that in the side seat. I'm going to tell you that right now.
You don't know, sometimes everyone has strangers. And so one thing about social media, I found it brought people close together that aren't even knowing people. And honestly, man, it's certain people I follow
and stalk.
Whatever you want. And I get
same here.
I like my brother right here. Every time he posts something about what he's doing and things like, I be like, man, that's for some people like it just motivates me. Like, okay, I can do something else. And I didn't even know you. You didn't know me, and you was posting like, you know, I saw you went through the whole factory with the smell and all that. I was motivated by that, bro. I'm like, man. It was. I'm glad we didn't talk to you then. I'm glad we talked to you now because we got more of your story. Because everybody got a story to tell, man. I'm impressed by what you do, man. We with you, man. You are a friend of the show, and man, congratulations to all your success, man. This is dope.
And I want to say one more thing, man, about this industry, and about just the research I've done. You have come in and you said 8 years you've been doing this, right? There have been so many celebrities who have stamped a cologne by putting their name on it, whether it be Diddy the one, I think Jay-Z had one at one time, Usher may have had one at one time, and they come and go, right? Because people don't buy cologne based off of your name. They buy good product. And the fact that you've been around this long, man, it says something about you, man. And I'm just I'm excited to be sitting here with you, man. I'm excited to see where it's gonna go. And just don't forget us, right? Don't forget us. But I mean,
got them early, man.
You think, man, you see all of these, you walk through, man, and even when those colognes were out by the celebrities, you see those beautiful bottles. I think JG just went through some litigation with one.
Yep, he
right?
did.
You see these beautiful bottles and this and the cologne lasts for 13 minutes and it's gone.
Yeah.
But you paid $99.99 or $129 or $149. Man, just to have the vision and the the courage to jump into one of those industries, man, is amazing. And it reminds me of us saying, man, we want to jump into this podcast industry because every celebrity is doing
That's
it. But
verbatim, bro.
every celebrity is not talking to people that are in the community. They're not talking. They're not talking to regular people. I don't want to listen to T.I. and I got something to say and I can't say it, right? I can never get on there. I can never connect with T.I. He's not going to answer my DMs. We answer all our DMs.
Right.
We talk to all of our for now. We talk to all of our listeners, as many of them as we can.
Yeah.
And man, I mean, just what you did kind of reminded us, because it's like, man, you jumping in this thing, and I mean, honestly, the success rate is not that high, and you still pushing, like you said, and I'm still wearing my stuff, and people still DMing saying, why can't I get it? At least that means they buying it,
Bro.
or they looking for it. So, man, we are excited to be sitting here with you, man. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to get my bottle, man. I'm gonna be right on Father's Day. Get me a couple bottles of it, man, and it's huge.
Our voice is your voice now.
Right.
Real talk. Whatever you need from us, man, we're gonna support you, man. Like I said, I'm drawing the people that going on and on. And what you did when you started in the restaurant business, you kind of went to that. And in the way you was posting about your steps, your progress, and I was motivated by that, because sometimes people get frustrated.
Yeah.
And they can't keep that motivation going, man. That's why I was always fascinated by your circle, your progress, and where you're going with it, man. And I said, we got to talk to this brother. And I'm glad we had an opportunity to talk to you, man. We was excited about it. We was like, So our show is your show from now on.
I appreciate
you know what I'm saying?
Whatever you
We're gonna be reach out to you, man. We want to do some more stuff with you, man. But we're huge fans of yours and the work you've done with Ovation and all that. He's a cologne guy. I'm starting to get there a little bit, But I'm a huge fan of your product. It's absolutely fantastic, man. And on behalf of the whole Podcases staff, man, really appreciate you coming on and hollering at us, man.
No, thank you. I appreciate it.
And it's starting our season 5 with us, man. That's crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? So you our first guest of the new season, man. We sincerely appreciate it, man. And we're gonna see more of us together and do some things. Man.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. Like I said, you brothers are out here trailblazing, and that's a part of what I love to do, is to celebrate those that are out here trailblazing.
Yeah.
And I've been looking forward to this opportunity for the past 2 weeks,
Man.
and so I wouldn't miss it. I wouldn't miss it, and trust me, as new things happen, I will keep you all informed.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, bro. You humbled the hell out of us when we reached out to you, and all once within like 10 to 20 minutes, you was like, bro, I do it. And we were like, I can show you the text message. We were like, we got him, man. Because we wanted to talk to you, bro.
He always want to show some text messages.
Yeah, because
It's cool though, but I understand, because I do the same thing.
Yeah,
Sometimes,
man.
hey, look, I'll be like, man, look, Rock Nation
You know what I'm
reached
saying?
out,
Nobody knows
dog.
who you are sometimes, but
let me show you.
But
know?
you like, for me, I always look for people that can motivate me.
Yeah.
And like my brother, he motivated me, because like where we started from, like as kids,
Yeah.
to where he's at now.
Yeah.
I said, bro, sometimes you got to understand your aura can make people.
Yep.
You feel a certain kind of way because what you've accomplished.
Yep.
But for me, I think, I like that. I'm like, that's always fascinated by people's circle.
I
who they
appreciate
got
it.
around them and all that. That's why I'm fascinated by your circle. But, bro,
But look, we still got to put him on that spot and get that Opinionated-Facts List.
Hey, let's bring it. Let's
Okay,
do it.
what?
Let's do it. I see y'all, because that's y'all, boy, on that Opinionated Facts, boy, y'all be bringing it. So hey, just don't make it too hard for me.
Nah, we won't make it too hard, man.
Let's don't. I don't want to say
we
nothing
won't
too
make it too hard, man. We
controversial,
won't make it too hard,
you
man.
know?
We want to wrap it up, man, with
Yes,
something
sir.
good with you, man. But we, so you're an entrepreneur, and everyone up here, we're all entrepreneurs. We all had the different ways why we started doing what we're doing. So this is Opinionated-Facts List for season 5. This is oh man, what are we gonna do here? What are we gonna do here? We'll find something good for you, man. We'll call this out. But let's see here. What did we say we was gonna do? Hold on a second.
8 ways you know it's time to leave your
Yeah.
job.
Okay. So these are 8 ways when you know it's time to leave your job. These are 8 ways when you know it's time to leave your job. Are you ready to go?
Let's go.
Let's do it.
We all entrepreneurs here, so this shouldn't be tough for us, all right? All right, so 8 signs it's time to leave your job. Number 8, your company is not doing well.
Well,
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that's the writing on the wall, and people
like not doing well, like you might not get your check? Or
like Enron. You heard the story about Enron? They call them into a conference room and say, you got 30 minutes, get the hell out of here. They lost it's
Really?
The story of Enron is by far, I don't believe in the death penalty, but that's one time you do, bro, that is,
Really?
I don't know if it is one of the,
There's a documentary about it too.
I watched the one for like sometimes they got like the 5-minute explanation of what happened. This guy broke it down. I seen it on YouTube. Bro, it's criminal. I watched that before I watched the length. What they did is, white collar crime need to have the death penalty too, man. What they did to those people, nobody left with nothing but the CEOs, and pretty much they got probation at the end. So
Too big to fail.
yeah. So this is your Opinionated-Facts List, man. This is 8 signs it's time to leave your job. Number 8, your company is not doing well. Number 7, you lost your passion, and that's what happened to me. I quit my job because they denied my vacation request for Disney World. I said, okay, I'm gonna show you motherfuckers. So, it was like an epiphany came out. Like, bro, it was like what, I just quit. But I found happiness in this, man. But I lost my passion. I lost my passion getting up in the morning and doing all that, So I was like, let me do what I really want to do, right? So for me, this kind of rings true with me. You lose your passion. You know what I'm saying? So number 6. You're constantly stressed.
Yeah. I know that one.
I mean, you're stressing and being an entrepreneur as well, but being stressed for working for somebody else and you're always on your back, that was one of the things, because I came from the tech industry.
Okay.
And it's either ones or two, is one, right or wrong. It ain't no leeway, no gray area if it's right or wrong. And I made mistakes, whatever, but they let your ass know. So, so I got stressed about it. So these are 8 signs it's time to leave your job. Number 8, your company is not doing well. Number 7, you lost your passion. Number 6, you're stressed. And number 5 is you experience abuse at your job.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like emotional abuse, man. Like you got like those what's that movie called? Where the guy had all the sticky notes on him. What's that movie?
Office Space.
Office Space. I felt that. You know what I'm saying? Because I had TPS reports as well. That's what it felt like. You know what I'm saying? So you experience abuse.
Those TPS reports done for me yet?
Yeah, Lumberg.
Yeah, man. And let me comment on that one too. Yeah, I mean, just the passive aggressive behaviors.
God.
Them fake laughs.
Yep, the microaggressions.
The smiles at the end of emails.
The potlucks.
All of that.
Semicolon.
Yeah, you know it's time to go.
Yeah, I was one of the jobs I had, they had a potluck before Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. And this lady brought some whatever. I don't eat potluck. Everybody got sick. So you got to deal with the potluck. So number 4, you fell out of the loop. And sometimes you not feel like you're part of the team or whatever, if it's a team aspect or whatever.
Man, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
The crazy thing is, man, I was just talking to somebody about this. Whenever I was working and they provided lunch, I ain't never eat it. I don't want to eat lunch with y'all. I want to go take my hour away from y'all. I don't want to eat lunch. I don't want you to provide no breakfast. I don't need no muffins, no bagels.
I never had a job with a lunch break.
Wow.
When I lived in New York, that's the only job we was in the union. But when I was working for the other company, we didn't have lunch breaks.
I just didn't like that, man.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Like, who are you to provide lunch for me off of the company credit card? Then I got to sit here and eat for 20 minutes and take my whole hour, right? That's my hour because I get to eat some pizza for 20 minutes. I'm not touching it, man.
You get the free pizza?
I don't eat it.
Okay.
Nah, man. I stand up for myself.
These are 8 signs it's time to leave your job. Number 4, you fell out of loops. Number 3, you're overqualified. There's many people like that.
Yep.
Number 2, you have a terrible boss. And we all have had that. So these are 8 signs it's time to leave your job. Number 8 is company is not doing well. Number 7, you lost your passion. Number 6, you're stressed out. Number 5, you experience abuse. Number 4, you fell out of the loop. Number 3, you're overqualified. Number 2, you have a terrible boss. And the number 1 reasons why it's time to leave your job, your personal life is suffering. That was it for me.
Amen.
That was it. Sometimes you got, people don't understand how important personal life is, man. So that's the Opinionated-Facts List, man. 8 signs it's time to leave your job, man. So you're the first person to ever done it with us, man.
Okay.
You're the first person ever done with us, man. Man, it was a blast, bro. I learned a lot. I went into this not wanting to know too much because I wanted to hear from you, and I learned a lot from insight.
No, thank you.
Man.
I'm the same, man. I mean, this is a great platform, great facility. So I'm really excited that what season 5 is gonna bring, man. You guys got this thing going.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, we going on the road, man. We doing our thing, man. But it's all love, man. We know we're gonna follow each other and big up each other and support each other,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Whatever you need from us, bro, you know how to get in contact with us. I'll save your number. We got you. Seriously, whatever you need, our platform is your platform, and it's what's up.
Speaking of going on the road, we'll be at in North Carolina on June 3rd.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll
So anything you want to say, my brother?
Outside of just thank you, I love you.
Thank you, man.
Much success in season 5. And, as I say to everyone, every man deserves an ovation.
Yo, that's a hell of a slogan, man.
I like that, man.
That's a hell of a slogan. It's simple, like, hey, just do it, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good stuff, man. Yo, congratulations to you, man. Like I said, you are motivating people you never even knew.
Don't even know.
And this is one of them. I'm letting you know, whatever steps you may be taking, you're motivating somebody that you don't know, and you motivated me. And it's not oftentimes you get to talk to people that motivate you, but I always try to big people up, real talk, because we don't hear that enough. Like you said about brothers, we don't tell them much of love. Sometimes we don't tell them much how much you're motivating, and what you're doing is maybe seem small, not moving, but you're motivating other people to do something. So salute to you, my brother.
Thank you,
All
bro.
success in the world with you, man.
Thank you.
Yo, man. Hey, thanks for the episode
51.
51, man. It's been great, man. Yo, let's do it again, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, brother. That's it.